She said I groped her in the Walmart parking lot. That's what my own son paid her to say. The same woman who smiled at me over mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving, who called me Mr. H and asked for extra gravy. She stood in court and told a judge I was a pervert who couldn't keep my hands to myself. My wife cried. My daughter stopped speaking to me. I lost 3 of my oldest friends overnight. One of them just texted, "I always had a weird feeling about you." And it all started because I wouldn't co-sign a $500,000 loan, $500,000, for a business idea my son came up with after 3 beers and a Joe Rogan episode. I said no, so he burned me down. But what he didn't know, what none of them knew, was that the actress he hired, she forgot she'd already played that same role 3 times for 3 other relatives. Same story. Same tears, same little blue dress. So I did what any ruined father would do. I brought them all to court on the same day. And when she walked in, you could hear the silence. "Miss Dana, do you recognize this courtroom?" I used to think I had a normal life. Not perfect, but solid. A paid-off truck. A wife who still laughed at my dumb jokes. Kids who came home for Christmas. That's all I ever really wanted. I wasn't rich, but I was steady. I'd worked the same HVAC job for 22 years. Got up at 6, home by 4. My hands stayed rough, and my bills stayed paid. Every Sunday, I'd mow the yard, sweep the porch, and drink 1 cold beer, always the same folding chair right next to the mailbox. That chair meant something to me. It was quiet, predictable. Then my son Tyler showed up with his big idea. "Dad, I need a co-signer just for the loan. I've got this business plan, man. It's airtight." He was pacing in my garage, holding a Red Bull like it was a baby bird. I stayed calm. "How much are we talking about?" He grinned. $500,000. I blinked. "Dollars?" He laughed like I was the crazy one. "Yes, dollars, Dad. It's not even that much with inflation." I leaned on the workbench. My socket set was laid out from earlier. I'd been fixing the lawnmower. The thing always dies in September. "Tyler, that's my retirement." He rolled his eyes. "Come on, you and Mom don't even go anywhere. You could help me build something. You'd be a partner." I stared at him for a long time. Then I said the hardest word a dad can say. "No." He stormed out without another word. Just peeled out of the driveway in that loud little Civic of his. That was the first crack. Thanksgiving was 3 weeks later. My wife, Jean, made her usual feast. Turkey, green bean casserole, sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top. I grilled the ham. The folding chair sat by the porch, untouched. Tyler showed up late, dragging a stranger behind him. "This is Dana," he said. "She's helping with the business stuff." She smiled at me like she'd known me for years. Blonde hair, big brown eyes, one of those perfectly polite voices. "Mr. H, I've heard so much about you." Jean raised her eyebrows at me in the kitchen. I whispered, "He's got a new one." Dana sat next to Tyler, laughed at everything he said. During grace, she held his hand. During dessert, she leaned across the table and touched mine. "You've got strong hands," she said, smiling. I pulled back. Politely, Jean saw it too. Later, while washing dishes, I asked her, "You get a weird feeling?" She nodded. "She's playing at something, but I don't know what." A week after Thanksgiving, Tyler stopped calling. Just nothing. Christmas came. I set up the lights, put the folding chair inside for the winter. Jean kept the empty chair at the table, just in case. It stayed empty. January, I got a letter in the mail. Summons to court. Allegation, inappropriate physical conduct. Location, Walmart parking lot. Plaintiff, Dana Mitchell. My knees buckled. I showed Jean the letter. She dropped her coffee cup. "Tyler's Dana?" she asked. "That Dana?" "Same one." The day of the hearing, I wore my church suit. The one I saved for funerals and weddings. I shaved even though my hands were shaking. Jean rode with me. She held my hand in the car, squeezing it every time I started to clench the steering wheel. We got there early, sat on that hard bench outside the courtroom, and then she walked in. Dana, wearing the same soft blue dress she wore on Thanksgiving. Hair curled, makeup flawless. She didn't even look at me. Tyler came in behind her, head down, didn't speak. The bailiff called my name, and for the first time in my life, I stood up in a courtroom being called a monster. Her story was simple. I was loading groceries when Mr. H walked up behind me. He said something crude. Then he touched me. Her voice trembled. She looked like she was about to cry. The judge nodded, took notes. Everyone stared at me like I was already guilty. Even Tyler looked proud. I started to open my mouth. But Jean put a hand on my arm. "Let it play out," she whispered. So I stayed quiet. But as we walked out, something strange happened. A woman in a navy suit brushed past me. Said nothing, just dropped a file in the clerk's bin. Inside that file, 3 affidavits from 3 other families, different counties, different stories, same woman, same name, same blue dress. The day after court, I couldn't even bring myself to open the blinds. Jean made eggs. I let them go cold. Every bite just turned to dust in my mouth. "Do you want to call a lawyer?" she asked. I shook my head. "Not yet." We sat in silence. The coffee pot gurgled. Outside, some neighbor kid revved his truck too loud in the cul-de-sac. Life just kept going. Like none of this was happening. That night, I got an email from my job, administrative leave, pending outcome of legal proceedings. Just like that. 22 years. I didn't even get a phone call. 3 days later, Jean drove to Walmart. Not our usual one. The next town over. She came home quiet. She handed me a receipt and a photograph. "I asked around," she said, showed a picture of her. The woman at the service desk had recognized Dana. Not just from our case, but from another. She didn't say much, but she said enough. "She's bad news," the clerk had told Jean. Real bad. That's when I got curious. I opened up an old Facebook account I barely touched, looked up Dana Mitchell. Nothing. The profile was clean, almost too clean. No posts, no comments, no real friends. But I did find Tyler's profile, full of vacation photos, him and Dana in Miami, her wearing that blue dress at dinner, clinking wine glasses. One post read, "To the woman who believed in me when nobody else would." I wanted to throw the laptop. We tried to call him, Jean and me both, straight to voicemail. Then came the real gut punch. My daughter Rachel called. She lives 2 states away. We don't talk often, but she's a good kid. Works hard. Raising twins on her own. She sounded cold. "Dad," she said, "I need to ask you something." "Okay. I need you to be honest." "About what?" "Did you do it?" I felt my chest tighten. "Do what, Rachel?" "With that girl, Tyler's girlfriend." My mouth went dry. "Of course not." She was quiet for too long. "I don't know who to believe," she said finally. Then she hung up. I started noticing little things. One neighbor stopped waving. Another walked her dog on the other side of the street. I overheard someone say, "Keep the kids away from that house." My own street turned against me over a lie. And Tyler, he started posting online about his journey and his struggle to rebuild trust after trauma. He called himself a wounded son. I sat there, reading it on my phone while the same folding chair sat out in the yard, tipped over by the wind, like even it didn't want to be associated with me anymore. Then something weird happened. Jean came back from the pharmacy. Said the cashier recognized Dana, too. "Wait," I said. "From the Walmart thing?" "No," Jean replied. "From a different case, with some guy in her neighborhood. Said she accused him of the same thing." That night, I started making calls to every contact I had. A buddy from my old bowling league who worked at the courthouse. An old neighbor who did real estate. My cousin Cheryl, who lives for gossip. And wouldn't you know it, Dana had filed 3 harassment claims in the last 2 years, every one of them against older men, all of them connected to the same family tree, cousins, uncles, a father-in-law, all in small towns. Every time it followed a pattern. She'd date someone young, get close to their family, accuse a male relative of misconduct, and disappear with a settlement check. Every single time. And now she'd set her sights on me. I called Tyler. He actually answered this time. "Dad, I know what she's done. I know about the others." He went quiet. 3 lawsuits, Tyler, all in different counties. Same exact story. Same blue dress. He chuckled. "It's not personal," he said. "It's just what works." "What?" "It's leverage, Dad. You could have just signed the loan." My ears rang. "You did all this for money?" "It's not just money," he snapped. "It's my life. You've held me back for years." I couldn't breathe. "You set me up," I said. "You let your girlfriend tell the world I'm a pervert." "It's not forever," he said. "Once we get what we need, she'll drop it. It'll go away." "No, son," I said. "It won't." I hung up before I said something I'd regret. Jean stood in the doorway, tears in her eyes. She'd heard the whole thing. The next morning, I drove 2 hours to the courthouse in Dana's old county, walked straight into the clerk's office, asked for records, took some convincing, but I got them. 3 case files. Same M.O., same exact testimony, word for word. I drove home with the windows down and the heat blasting just to stay awake. Jan was waiting on the porch, holding the folding chair, the one I always sat in after mowing the lawn. "I want to fight," she said. So we got a lawyer, a good one, filed a counterclaim, and then I did something that Tyler never saw coming. I had all 4 cases, mine and the 3 others, scheduled for hearing on the same day, same courtroom, same judge. And when Dana walked in, wearing that blue dress, her jaw actually dropped. She turned and saw not just me, but 3 other men sitting behind our own lawyers, all of us staring straight at her. And that's when the panic set in. There's a moment somewhere between shock and heartbreak where everything just goes quiet. It was right there, inside that courthouse, when Dana saw the other men. 3 of us, different ages, different counties, same story, same woman, same blue dress. She froze in the doorway, didn't even try to hide it, just looked like a kid caught cheating on a test. Eyes darting, lips tight, trying to piece together a new lie fast enough to survive the next 10 minutes. The judge called for a recess before we even started. "Unscheduled, but necessary," he said. Back in the hallway, Tyler finally looked at me. No smile this time, no smug little grin, just a long, blank stare. "You dragged other families into this," he muttered. I leaned in. Quiet. Cold. "No, son. You did that." The weeks leading up to that hearing were the loneliest of my life. Half the town still believed I was guilty. The other half just didn't want to get involved. People don't like messy stories. I'd go to the grocery store and feel eyes on my back. I'd see folks whispering at the deli counter. One lady even moved her cart when I walked past the bread aisle. "Just give them space," June said. "Truth will catch up." But the truth was moving slower than molasses uphill. And Tyler was getting bolder. He sent out a family email, one of those group blasts he used to send when he made the dean's list. This time it read, "For those who've asked, yes, my father's hearing is coming up. I won't be attending. I choose healing over hate." Healing. The same week, he posted a video of himself dancing shirtless in a rental cabin in Gatlinburg with Dana, doing a TikTok challenge to a remix of Fleetwood Mac. Healing my ass. Then came the bank letter. Our joint savings account, mine and Jean's, had been flagged. Someone had tried to take out a personal loan using our property as collateral. Guess whose name popped up on the inquiry list? Tyler Henderson, my own son, using our address, our house, without telling us. I went out to the garage, stared at my tools for a long time, thought about smashing something, the lawnmower maybe. It always breaks anyway. Jean came out, holding her phone. Her face was pale. "What now?" I asked. She showed me the screen. A group chat. Tyler, Rachel, and one of Jean's sisters. They were planning a family intervention. Not for him. For me. "Maybe Dad needs help accepting responsibility," Tyler had typed. Rachel replied, "We can't keep covering for him." Covering, like I was some drunk or liar who needed managing. My throat tightened. Jean just whispered, "They're pushing you out." And that's when it clicked. They didn't just want to ruin my name. They wanted to erase me. The night before the hearing, I couldn't sleep. I sat out back in my old folding chair. The air was cold, but I didn't care. The stars were out. Same ones I used to show Tyler when he was a little boy. He loved Orion's belt, said it looked like a superhero's weapon. I wondered if he even remembered that. Jean came out with a blanket and wrapped it around my shoulders, sat down in the chair beside me. "You still want to go through with it?" she asked. I nodded. "This is our name," I said. "I'm not dying with a lie on it." The next morning, the courtroom was packed, all 4 cases scheduled back to back. The same judge, same bailiff, same rows of wooden benches that creaked when you shifted. The first witness was one of the other accused, Earl Thomas. Mid-60s, retired bus driver, wore a bolo tie and looked like he hadn't slept since 1998. He took the stand and told his story. Identical pattern. Dana had dated his nephew, got close to the family, filed a complaint after a 4th of July barbecue. Said he brushed up against her near the cooler. "I was carrying ribs," he said. "Hot ribs. You think I'm going to risk dropping them just to grab a woman? Lord have mercy." Laughter in the gallery. Even the judge cracked a smile. Dana sat stiff as concrete. Then came the next one, and the next. Each story chipped away at the lie, and then it was my turn. I stood. My knees shook a little, but I looked Dana dead in the eye. "I told my son no," I said. "That's all I did. I said no, and that cost me everything." I explained the business loan, the Thanksgiving dinner, the Walmart accusation. "She's not here for justice," I said. "She's here for a payout." And that's when my lawyer dropped the final bomb. He handed the judge a stack of photos taken from Dana's own public accounts. Same dress, same poses, same tears. 3 counties, 4 families, 1 woman, one playbook. The judge leaned back, quiet. Then he looked at Dana. "Miss Mitchell," he said, "do you recognize this courtroom?" She didn't answer. She just stood up and walked out. Didn't even grab her purse. Tyler followed her. He didn't look back, not once. They say when you hit rock bottom, the only way left is up. That's a lie. Because rock bottom, it has a basement, and I found it the day after court. The judge hadn't ruled yet. Said he needed time to review all 4 cases. But I walked out of that courtroom thinking maybe, just maybe, the worst of it was behind me. I was wrong. I got home, opened the mailbox, and saw a letter from the State Department of Children and Families. Subject line, ongoing investigation, allegations of inappropriate conduct around minors. I dropped it right there on the driveway. Jean came out, picked it up, read it, and just sat down on the porch steps. Didn't say a word. Turns out Dana had filed another complaint, not just against me. This time she said I was a known danger to children and that I had made inappropriate comments at Thanksgiving in front of my grandkids. She dragged the twins into it, my daughter's kids. And Rachel, instead of calling to check if it was true, she blocked me. Jean tried to text her, tried to call, sent emails, nothing. We were cut off. Completely. I tried to call Tyler just one more time. I wanted to ask him why. Why bring the kids into this? Why cross that line? He answered. Sounded like he was driving. "What now?" he snapped. "Is this what you wanted?" I said. "To make me look like some kind of predator? To break your mother's heart? Your sister's family?" He sighed. "I didn't tell her to do that. But you didn't stop her either." Long pause. Then he said, "Maybe it's for the best." I could barely breathe. "For the best?" "Dad, just let it go. It's over. Your time's up. Your time's up." Like I was some washed-up relic, a broken machine they'd finally thrown in the garbage. And then he hung up. That night I sat in the folding chair again, the same one by the mailbox. Jun sat next to me. Neither of us spoke for a long time. Then she reached out and put her hand on mine. "You did everything right," she whispered. "No, I didn't. I let it get this far. I let them walk all over me, lie about me, cut me out of my own family. But that's when something inside me finally broke. Or maybe it clicked. I wasn't going to win this by being quiet. I wasn't going to clear my name with hope and patience. I was done playing defense. The next morning, I pulled out every file I had. The court records, the affidavits, the photos, the complaint logs from the clerk's office, everything Dana had touched. I put together a full timeline, names, dates, photos, even screenshots of her TikToks where she'd joke about bagging an old man's bank account. Then I made copies, not for the court, not for the police, for the press. I sent the story to 6 local outlets, 2 regional papers, and 1 conservative blog that lives for courtroom drama. By noon, it was up. Serial harassment claims. Unravel 4 families accuse same woman of targeted lawsuits. There were photos, names, quotes, and once that story hit Facebook, everything changed. The comment section lit up like gasoline. One guy said, "She tried to do this to my uncle too." Another posted, "Same woman came to our church with some sob story, asked for donations, left with a laptop, and never came back." She wasn't just a liar, she was a grifter, a professional one. 2 days later, my phone rang. Blocked number. I answered anyway. "Is this Harold Henderson?" "Yes." This is Detective Foley with the County Sheriff's Office. You have a moment?" My stomach dropped. But he wasn't calling about me. He was calling about Dana. "We're opening a criminal investigation," he said. "Fraud, perjury, possibly conspiracy to defraud the court." I didn't say anything. "We may need your testimony." I cleared my throat. "I'll be ready. But here's the real punch to the ribs. The next day, I got a letter in the mail. Not from a lawyer. From Rachel. Handwritten. Short. "Dad, I don't know what's true anymore. But if what I've seen online is real, I'm sorry. Love, Rachel." No, I love you. No phone number, just that. A maybe apology from my own daughter. After everything. After siding with Tyler. After cutting me off. After letting me sit in the dark. Alone. While strangers whispered that I was some kind of monster. I handed the letter to Jean. She read it. Then folded it in half and tucked it in her Bible. "She's scared," she said. "Yeah. Well, so was I." That night, I didn't sit in the folding chair. I stood in the garage, in front of a whiteboard I'd bought from Walmart. I started writing down names, connecting dots, looking for patterns, because this wasn't over, not by a long shot. Tyler thought he was smart, thought he could use Dana as a weapon and walk away clean. But now, she was under investigation. And guess who helped her file the paperwork? Guess whose name was on the notarized statements? Guess who signed 2 of the court forms as a witness? Tyler, that's right. He didn't just know about the lie. He helped write it. You don't fight fire with kindness. You fight it with gasoline and a better insurance policy. The day I found Tyler's signature on those court documents, bold as brass just under Dana's, I knew exactly what I had to do. He wasn't just involved, he was neck deep in it, and still walking around like the golden boy, posting motivational quotes on Instagram. Pain shapes growth. Family doesn't always understand the grind. I wanted to reply, neither does the district attorney. But I kept quiet, because while he was out there acting like a self-help guru, I was busy building my case like a damn FBI analyst. First thing I did, I recorded everything. Not the kind of shady, secret stuff you see on TV. No, this was old school and legal. I started calling Tyler innocent casual stuff. Every call went on speaker. Jean sat beside me with her phone recording. "Hey, son," I'd say, "just checking in." Sometimes he bit. Most of the time he didn't. But when he did, boy, he got sloppy. One call, he slipped and said, "Well, Dana handled all the forms. I just helped with the layout." Layout? Of a false sexual misconduct complaint? Got it. Logged. Time-stamped. Saved to a thumb drive. Next, I visited a friend of mine, Kenny Adams, retired PI. Ran background checks on tenants for the city. Used to be a cop until he punched his captain for stealing overtime. My kind of guy. He owed me a favor. I asked him to pull everything he could on Dana Mitchell. Pull every rock, I said, even the ugly ones. Kenny raised an eyebrow. Are we going scorched earth? I nodded. We're planting salt. Turns out Dana had more skeletons than a Halloween aisle at Walmart. Fake names, shady landlords, small claim suits, credit cards opened and dumped. She'd even listed Tyler's address as her residency on a legal aid form 2 weeks before she accused me. I built a binder, black cover, red tabs, organized by incident. I called it the Book of Truth. Jean called it the Extinguisher, because when I lit this fuse, there'd be no turning back. Then I went after his business. The startup Tyler needed the loan for. It didn't exist. Not legally, not with the state. No LLC, no trademark, not even a tax ID number. But he was collecting investments from friends, from family, from people on social media who believed in his little financial coaching app. I sent an anonymous tip to the Federal Trade Commission and another to the State Securities Board. I attached screenshots of Tyler promising returns, promising equity, talking about buy-ins, which, news flash, is illegal when you're not registered. I didn't even need to lie. I just sent them his own words. And then I did the one thing none of them expected. I invited everyone to dinner, Rachel, Tyler, even Dana. Jean looked at me like I was insane. You want to feed 'em? I want to watch them squirm. We rented out the back room at Lou's BBQ, the kind with the sticky tables and the rusty tin ceiling fans, the kind of place where people take their time eating because they trust the meat more than their family. Tyler walked in wearing a button-up and fake confidence. Dana had on that stupid blue dress again. She smiled at me, fake, empty, practiced. Rachel looked tense. Jean gave her a side hug. No words. We sat, ordered, passed around cornbread. Halfway through the meal, I stood up. I've got something for the family, I said. Pulled out the binder, dropped it on the table. Thump! Tyler flinched. Dana blinked twice. Rachel said, "What is this?" I smiled. "Proof. Everything you need to know about the scam you're part of." Tyler scoffed. "Dad, don't do this." "Oh, I'm doing it." I flipped to a page. Tyler's signature, helping file a harassment complaint, untrue, and submitted under penalty of perjury. Flipped again. Dana, using 3 different aliases, filing suit in 3 counties. Same story, same dates. I turned to Rachel. "You blocked me, believed them, and now you're watching it fall apart, right here, next to the mashed potatoes." Dana stood up. "This is harassment," she said. "No," I said. "This is evidence, and the sheriff's department already has a copy." Tyler turned pale. He leaned in. Low voice. Angry. "You ruined everything." "No, son," I whispered. "You did." Half an hour later, after they stormed out, Rachel stayed behind. She sat there, holding the binder in her lap, flipping through slowly. "I didn't know," she said. "I tried to tell you. I was scared." "Me too." She wiped her eyes. She didn't hug me, but she didn't walk out either. Jean slid over a piece of pie. No one touched it. Next morning, Tyler posted a long apology on Facebook. Not to me. Of course not. It was all vague. Mistakes were made. People change. I've learned a lot. He turned off the comments, but it was too late. Kenny called me that afternoon. "You see the news?" he asked. "No." He sent a link. Local startup guru, under investigation for investment fraud, photo of Tyler. Blurry, but you could tell it was him. Below it, a caption. "Multiple complaints filed. SEC may intervene. Inquiries ongoing." And the best part, a follow-up quote from Detective Foley. "We're currently examining connections between Mr. Henderson and Dana Mitchell in regard to multiple false filings across county lines." There it was. My son, the golden boy, now the lead story on the 6 o'clock news. Tyler always said he was built different. He was right. Most people lied to protect themselves. He lied to destroy people. But now he was finally standing in the path of something he didn't understand. Me. The day the fraud investigation went public, I didn't call anyone, didn't gloat, didn't post, didn't send a single "told you so." I just watched, waited, let it sink in, and boy, did it. By noon, Tyler's little coaching website went down. By dinner, the investor group chat I had screenshots of, yes. I was in there under a burner, went full nuclear. People wanted their money back. People wanted answers. People wanted a lawyer. At 9:42 p.m., he texted me, "You did this." No punctuation, no explanation, just that. I didn't respond. Next morning, Rachel showed up on our porch. No call, no warning, just appeared, holding a plastic bag with something inside. "I found this," she said, "in Tyler's old bedroom closet back at Mom's." She handed me the bag. Inside was a black notebook, handwritten. Dana's notebook. And it was full of names. 36 of them, all men, all connected to women Dana had dated. Some crossed out, some circled in red. Some had dollar amounts next to them. I flipped to the center. There it was. Harold Henderson, stubborn, won't sign, son angry, leverage, cause family angle. I sat down on the porch steps, felt like my ribs were trying to escape my chest. "She was planning this before she met you," Rachel whispered. "She met me over stuffing and cranberry sauce," I said, "and pretended she liked my gravy." The notebook was gold. I took it straight to Detective Foley. He read 2 pages and closed it like it burned. "We're not looking at a civil scam anymore," he said. "This is conspiracy. Multiple jurisdictions." "Can you charge them together?" I asked. He smiled. "Just watch." The next Friday, Dana got arrested. Not just picked up. Arrested. Cuffed in public. Taken from a spa salon with foils still on her hair. They called it a multi-county conspiracy to defraud. I called it justice with highlights. Tyler wasn't arrested that day, but the warrant was coming, and I wasn't done yet. I filed a formal civil suit against both of them, defamation, financial harm, emotional distress. I attached every statement, every voicemail, every social post where Tyler hinted I was guilty. His lawyer, some guy named Nash with gelled hair and a bad tie, called me to talk resolution. "You want a number?" he asked. I said, "Yeah." "How many zeros until my son becomes someone else's problem?" He laughed. I didn't. Then I added a second line to the suit. Elder abuse. Because using your own father's name in a fraudulent business application? That's abuse. Nash stopped laughing after that. Now here's where it gets good. I found the property Tyler listed as his business headquarters. Some shared office space downtown with a fake logo on the glass door. I showed up there with a clipboard and my friend Kenny wearing a jacket that said Auditor on the back. It wasn't real. It was from a Halloween costume. But it worked. The intern at the front desk nearly fainted. Tyler arrived in a panic, half-buttoned shirt, whispering, "What the hell are you doing?" "Just reviewing some materials," I said. "Hope you kept your receipts." He grabbed my arm. I pulled away, loudly. "Don't touch me," I said. "I'm pressing charges, remember?" Everyone stared. He backed off, muttering something about defamation. I smiled. "Trust me, I know what defamation looks like." 3 days later, Jean and I got a letter from the county DA. Grand jury proceedings scheduled. That meant Tyler, not just Dana. He was officially under criminal review. Jean cried, not because she was sad, because she was relieved. It wasn't just going to be my word anymore. It was evidence, facts, witnesses, a jury. We had our day coming. One morning, I got a call from Rachel. Her voice was soft, like a balloon losing air. "Dad?" "Yeah." I told the girls the truth about everything. Everything. I sat in the folding chair out front, the one that started it all, the one that stayed empty every holiday. "What'd they say?" "They asked if you'd come visit." I bit my lip, then said the only thing I could. "I'll bring cookies." But before that visit, I had one last thing to do. I pulled out the final copy of the binder, my book of truth, and sent it certified mail. Addressed it to my mother. She's 82. Lives in a quiet retirement condo in Florida. Loves Tyler. Thinks he's a genius. But she'd left me 3 voicemails last year asking if the accusations were true. I never called her back, so I mailed her the proof, all of it. And just to be sure she read it, I tucked her favorite scratch-off lottery ticket inside the first page. She'd never miss that. 1 week later, she called. "Harold." "Hi, Ma." I read it. Long pause. "You believe me?" "Of course I do." Another pause. Then she said the one thing I never thought I'd hear. "I called the church prayer list, had them remove Tyler's name." I choked on my coffee. "You what?" "He doesn't deserve the prayers," she said. "You do." By now, Dana was facing 4 felony charges. Tyler was out on bail. And I was sitting in my folding chair again, this time in the front yard, sun on my face, binder in my lap. Watching the mailman walk up with another stack of legal notices, for them, not me, and for the first time in over a year, I smiled. It started with a knock on Tyler's door. 6:03 a.m., loud, deliberate, final. Jean and I were drinking coffee when the news alert hit my phone. Breaking. Son of local fraud. Suspect arrested on conspiracy charges. There it was. Mugshot, tousled hair, hollow eyes. The golden boy in a gray hoodie, looking like a deer that finally saw the headlights. Joan stared at the screen. Her voice shook. "He never thought it'd reach him." I nodded. "He thought I'd lie down and take it." They charged him with conspiracy to commit fraud, witness tampering, and filing a false report. Because when Dana wrote those statements, Tyler helped her word them. Proof was in the notebook, his handwriting, his corrections in red pen. And remember those calls I recorded? One of them had him saying, "She didn't want to file it at first, but I told her we had to." That's coercion. That's involvement. And now, that's felony time. By 8:30 a.m., I'd already gotten 3 calls, one from the DA, one from Detective Foley, and one from Rachel. Her voice was panicked. "Dad, he's been arrested. What do we do?" I didn't raise my voice, didn't rush, just stirred my coffee and said, "Let it happen. You can't be serious. He earned it. But he's your son." I stood by the window, watched a bird tear apart a worm in the yard. No hesitation. Nature doesn't flinch. "Not today, he isn't." Tyler called me that night. Collect call, county jail. I let it ring, let it hit voicemail. Then I listened. "Dad, I didn't think it'd go this far. Just call me back. Please, I need you." Click. Jean asked if I was going to respond. No. She didn't push. Then came Dana's deal. She flipped, tried to save herself, agreed to testify against Tyler in exchange for a reduced sentence. Her statement? Devastating. I was manipulated. He said if I loved him, I'd do it. He coached me through the whole thing. And get this, she handed over text messages, screenshots, voice notes. One of them? Tyler. "Just say he made you uncomfortable, that's all. You don't need details. The court will fill in the blanks." Another? "If you can cry a little, that helps." It wasn't just fraud anymore. It was character assassination, orchestrated. His lawyer tried to spin it. Called a press conference, said Tyler was young, confused, influenced by an older woman with a criminal past. I sent the video of Tyler coaching her to Channel 5 News. They ran it that night. Split screen, his lawyer making excuses on the left, Tyler's own voice on the right. "If he cries in court, he'll get sympathy. The next morning, Rachel showed up again. She had the twins with her. She didn't say anything, just stood on our porch while the girls played in the yard. When they came inside, one of them pointed to the old folding chair in the corner. "Mommy said you used to sit in that all the time." I nodded. "Still do." She smiled. "Can I sit in it?" My voice cracked. "It's yours if you want it." That afternoon, I got a call from Channel 12. They wanted to interview me. The dad falsely accused. The family man who fought back. They called it a story of American grit and redemption. I almost said no. Then I remembered how it felt to have everyone think I was the monster. I said yes. The segment aired the next night. They showed the courtroom documents, Dana's confessions, Tyler's voice notes. They even showed the folding chair, the old sun-bleached one right next to my mailbox. "It's where I used to sit after work," I said on camera, "when I still believed my son was a good man." The phone rang off the hook for 2 days straight. Old co-workers. Friends I hadn't heard from in years. The neighbor who used to avoid me in the grocery store. "I'm sorry," they all said. Some people even sent letters. One guy mailed me a folding chair. No return address. Just a note that said, "You stood up, now sit proud." Tyler made bail again. Barely. He showed up at our door, unannounced. John opened it. She didn't say a word, just stared at him like he was a stranger selling vacuum cleaners. I stepped in behind her. Tyler looked rough, bags under his eyes, clothes wrinkled. "Dad," he said, "I didn't know what I was doing." "You knew?" He blinked. "I was scared. I thought you'd leave me behind. So you tried to bury me." He took a step forward. "I just want to fix it." "You can't." "I'll pay you back." "You can't." "Then what do you want?" I looked at him, long and hard, and said the only thing that mattered, "I want you gone." He turned, walked away. Didn't argue, didn't cry, just left. Jean shut the door slowly. "I didn't recognize him," she whispered. "That's because our son died a long time ago," I said. That night, I burned the binder, page by page, in the backyard fire pit, not out of forgiveness, but because I didn't need it anymore. The world knew the truth now, and so did he. 3 weeks later, Dana was sentenced, 18 months, plus restitution. Tyler's trial starts in November. Rachel comes by more often now. She brings the girls. They like the folding chair. They call it Grandpa's throne. Jean lets them draw chalk hearts on the driveway. I sit out front, coffee in hand. The sun hits just right these days. Warm, clean, mine again. Tyler didn't show up to sentencing. His lawyer claimed stress-related illness. He sent a letter instead. Typed. Signed. Cold. He said he was sorry he got caught, maybe. He asked if I'd consider a statement of leniency to the court. I didn't reply. Dana's family sent flowers. Not to apologize. Just to distance themselves from the whole mess. Rachel still visits. But she never says Tyler's name. Not even once. The girls ask sometimes, "Is Uncle Tyler in timeout forever?" Jean just nods. "Yes, sweetie, forever." Thanksgiving came. I roasted the turkey. Jean did the stuffing. Rachel brought green beans. The folding chair was on the porch again. Fresh coat of paint, tightened screws. But nobody sat in it. We left it empty, like we did last year. Only this time, it meant something different. This time, it was earned. A week later, Tyler called from whatever basement he's living in. Jean answered. He asked if he could start over. Said he was ready to rebuild. She handed me the phone. I didn't say hello. Just waited. He breathed into the receiver. Dad, can I come home? I looked out of the window, watched the chair rock gently in the wind. Sunlight hitting the arms, dust catching in the breeze. Still, sturdy, mine. No, I said, that home's gone. Click. You think blood's thicker than water until you realize even family can drown you, one lie at a time. And that empty chair? It doesn't feel empty anymore. It feels clean, peaceful, whole.